Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I've got another Ultramarine guide for you, and yes, it's another Letharius guide. Who would I be without, doing Chaplain and Letharius? So, what I've found with Chaplain and Letharius is that the Gather the Company deck, unfortunately, has been power crept. It's fundamentally, there's just too many vehicles / stratagems you kind of want to be using, and with Gather the Company, you just can't afford to have it and for it to really work properly, because it has to refill energy on infantry draw, and fundamentally infantry are not always your best troops anymore, and / you need some fundamental stratagems like hard removals. They're pretty important, and you just found that it got to that critical point in stage where, at least for me, it doesn't quite work as properly as you want to anymore, because you want those impulsors because they're like quite comfortably your best 5 energy drop. The only other thing which got buffed recently is the Victor Tactical Warsuits. It's the only thing I could argue being better, because I haven't tested it yet whether it is better or not. I think it should be pretty good now, but he's your best drop along with Sergeant Talion. And then you're kind of left there going, well, you've got to have the point blank shots, got to have this, got to have that. The Outriders are pretty darn good now. So, all that collectively meant, because of the things which were keeping up with the meta, were not infantry units, and the things which were, it started, Gather the Company started degrading in value. And now I fundamentally don't think it quite works with Chaplain and Letharius. Doesn't mean it's a bad card. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the deck, even though it's still pretty good, the Chaplain and Letharius Gather the Company deck, it's just not the best Chaplain and Letharius deck anymore. So that being said, what have I been playing around with? And what I've discovered was that Tactical Doctrine is actually a really solid card. With this go wide Chaplain and Letharius deck that Primaris Impulsor really able to support in like the mid game / just a whole bunch of early game troops, Tactical Doctrine really gives you that really good finisher. You can pretty much ignore the Codex draw card part. It's hardly ever useful. I'm not saying it isn't, but most of the time the +3 to all your units, affecting your Warlord as well, ends up winning you the game, and hence it's a really useful card for that reason. That's why we've got 2 of it in the deck. And the reason why we've got 2 is just for that increased consistency of being able to draw. If you only had 1, it would literally only show up half the amount of time, and we don't want to have that. We want to quite showing up pretty often, to be honest. So with that being said, what have I created? This is what I created. This is the mana curve. This is what I used before when the Dark Angels and the Sororitas were playing out. And I found it to work very well against both, because Sororitas is, before the update, only weakness was a good just sort of early game aggression sort of deck, and Dark Angels only weakness was sort of being able to deal with an entire board of little guys, because they end up having a big guy, and the big guy could kill one little guy, but then there'd still be several other little guys. So the best way to take out both decks was an aggressive go wide, funnily enough, and this is what I used. But I didn't want to make a video on this. I wanted to wait till the update to see what changes, what things would have been done and changed and made it better. And this is the slight changes. I found that the card draw, it's not as for the Hero's Respite in the other deck. These 2 can sort of like somewhat weirdly enough ruin your opening hand, because then you have to draw 2 cards and you kind of can't dictate what you want. You get what you get, where you could just, if you really wanted an extra card in opening hand with Chaplain and Letharius, you could just draw an extra card with Chaplain and Letharius' ability. So it's where Hero's Respite might be better is when you get into that mid game where you've got a bit of a board already and you need some more cards. Hero's Respite would be really useful then, but it's not so useful at other points in time. So I've taken those out and I've put in more sort of tempo plays / removal. So I have an extra Outrider, and what I've done, instead of having double Eradicator, I've only got 1 Eradicator now, and I've got double land speeder. Because they've got an 8 card draw, and of course they've been buffed recently with extra life, which is really useful. Plus, it's quite useful to have like flying things against Dark Angels, with sometimes them having 0 range attack. You can buff the range attack, the land speeder, stuff like that. So it's solid stuff. Overall, this is what I've used, and this is what I found to be working pretty well. Got these guys because to fill out the 1 energy cost, it's just useful to have. The point blank shots, the Firstborn, just one Firstborn. I would say on the Firstborn that I don't have Chiron. If you do have Chiron, I would replace Chiron, well, the Firstborn, for Chiron. I would do it in a heartbeat. He's been buffed as well, and it really supports this deck, because if your game plan of a whole bunch of little guys created by impulses / things you've played as well just gets removed, suddenly you can punish them just by playing this Chiron. You could theoretically do, you could have like 8 guys on the board, whole entire board gets wiped. You could do 16 damage in 1 turn. Oh no, 18, because it repeats it for each enemy unit dies. So that would be pretty cool. But I don't have him, so I'd recommend doing that. Intercessor Sergeant, I find this guy just to be very solid, and what we need to aim for in this deck is that you want to aim for Chaplain Letharius' ability, things with life. And an Intercessor Sergeant has 4 life, where Stern Guard Sergeant, which you see I don't have, only has 3 life. So I prefer having the Intercessor Sergeant, because also reliability of just guaranteeing it's gonna hit a troop. I much prefer that. Outriders, Primaris Inceptor, these are good, very good flank troops, and the Primaris Techmarine. At the end of the day, we've got double Scout Bike, we've got double Outrider, we've got double Land Speeder, and we've got double Primaris Impulsor. There's quite a few vehicles there, along with just Primaris Techmarine's very good stat line. A lot of vehicles there for Primaris Techmarine support. Same with Antaro Chronus. He's been very useful in this deck. He's particularly nice when you're able to draw a Land Speeder off of Antaro Chronus, and then you play Antaro Land Speeder down, and Antaro Chronus gives that Land Speeder flank, and then it's able to shoot straight away and get like strike off. That's like the perfect match made in heaven scenario. Got Primaris Eradicator. This is a bit more of a flex spot. I did have double Primaris Eradicator instead of double Land Speeder. Somewhat sort of testing out a little bit. I think Land Speeder should be better because they should have, card draw reliability, and it should still be pretty decent into Dark Angels anyway. But definitely can have double Eradicator if you're coming across a lot of units with a lot of armor. You keep on coming against opponents which keep on doing that. Maybe you want 2 of these instead. It's just a shout. Just a thought there. Inspired Retribution, you need hard removal. Primaris Impulsor, very good with all the deploying little guys, as I said. Tactical Doctrine, as I kind of said. Inceptor Sergeant, this is another flex spot as well. I haven't tested this, but you can arguably go for Angels of Death instead. Where is it? The problem I find with Angels of Death, particularly as I don't have Chiron, for example, is that if you deploy Angels of Death and they all attack, they only have got 3 life. So if you go into, like, let's say a 6/6 with 6 life, and you use Angels of Death, blah blah, they all attack the 6/6 with 6 life, and yeah, they kill the company agent, but they all die. Whereas, I suppose, maybe this is inaccurate, Lieutenant Calcius with the 4 range attack, they would still all die to Lieutenant Calcius. However, the Inceptor Sergeant wouldn't die, because it's got 6 life. And then you're able to use Chaplain Virus's ability to heal it up into your advantage. So I prefer to have the Inceptor Sergeant, but you can definitely have an Angels of Death. I don't think you're particularly going wrong with Angels of Death here. However, I do think this just edges it, but I'm not like... I haven't tested Angels of Death yet, so I cannot say for definite. And particularly with Chiron, I can imagine that being a bit better. I imagine this, as it gets later and later in the game, Angels of Death becomes more appealing because you could buff all the Angels of Death units up with +1 range attack with Chaplain Virus's ability. You get the idea. It should be pretty good. Another thing to say about Angels of Death is that against armored units in particular, like if just 1 armor means that you do 2 damage, goes down to 1, so you can only do 3 damage to the target, where this guy 1 armor means that it goes from 5 to 4. So this guy automatically does more damage by default anyway against an armored target. So it's just things to think about. really. And then finally, we've got Sergeant Gadriel, which is brilliant because he's been buffed. Absolutely love him. I was using him before inside the other deck before he got buffed up. I loved him in that deck. And in this deck, absolutely. You can already... he's not a bad drop for 7 energy. If you play him on curve, 7 energy is not a bad drop if you only have your Warlord and him. Because he's going to do 1 to 2 damage to another target. And then he's just going to do that twice. It's 1 to 2 to Warlord and 1 to 2 to another target. You might be able to kill it with your Warlord. Never know after that. But quite often in this deck, you can have like Primaris Impulsors, which can summon the guy. Maybe Primaris Impulsor guys. But then you'd be able to put down 2 3 drops. So maybe a 4 and a 2 drop. Or maybe you put down a 6 drop, do Inceptor Sergeant. And then you play down Sergeant Gadriel, and you know, something ends up living. So that just means more pings with Sergeant Gadriel later on in the game, which is absolutely brilliant. So it's just another win con. It's the entirety of the package. You need to see it here. It's not, don't think of it as just this Codex ability. Also utilize like that, it has 7, 6, and then 7 life with flying. Don't forget about the flying, it catches some people out. He's a very solid unit. Anyway, let's get into a few games now. Tigurus. So, we're going first. So, typically, you actually want to replace the 2 energy drops. The reason why is you do want a card draw. And I think I'll get rid of 6 drops so we can have something in the middle of the game. It's not too bad. Nothing really here we want to use. This could just totally backfire, so you don't want to do that despite going more aggro. Thunderstorm, that's just giving Tigurus advantage. What I would say is against Tigurus in particular, if you had the level 40, you would want to... is it level 40? Or is it level 45? So we just card draw here. But if you have level 45, I think it is, there's the counter attack, which allows you to draw stratagems. I would take that. That would be quite good against Tigurus, because he's going to draw stratagems anyway, and he probably wants to limit the amount of stratagems. So there's a certain point he's not actually going to benefit from the extra stratagems, where you could get a Tactical Insight, which might just... Tactical Insight, Tactical Doctrine, which might just allow you to win a game. So we're going to do this. It's not too bad, not too bad. Got some flank troops. This is really quite nice. Just the... if we need it sort of thing. So I presume you could draw a card. Yes, you did. High Factory. That's not a good sign. Right, Battlefield Supremacy. So what we really want to do is now, because he's going to put down basically a 5 energy drop for 4 energy. He's going to start getting ahead. So we want to kind of punish that. So do we attack here? No, I think here we want to put as much a distraction as possible, actually. We want him to deal with the stuff. He's probably not going to be in a situation where you can deal with both stuff. Because you could put something down, kill this, for example, and then this guy's still alive because you can't take it out with Tigurus. So then he gets his 1 extra ping, they're able to deal with it. Typically early on, you just want to, weirdly enough, be passive with your troops and just allow Chaplain and Letharius just able to heal them up so they don't just instantly die. Now, imagine you've chosen Smite, right? Okay, cool. So we don't actually need Codex here. So we've got some options. We can either just do this and do this. Then we can like shoot that guy and heal up. And then we can keep them both alive on basically you on 2 life and you on 1. Or we can blind him, and I think blind play is better.
We must move faster. Positions. We strike soon.
So I think we do this. Figure out what we draw. Okay, that's fine. And then we do use... I think we will use you. Let me shoot it. What's nice about this though, also, is that him being blinded means that he can't actually shoot any one of these guys. So he actually has to use resources to be able to remove it. Which I think is the major benefit. Okay, so he's got a stun over here. Now, yeah, we probably want healing on you, and then healing on you. So I play you. Shoot that guy. I think I will shoot here. And then we'll shoot here. Trying to keep these two alive.
The future is not set. Hope always.
GG, GG. So yeah, this is how this kind of deck works. It's that this is one of the ways that you can play. You can just somewhat out tempo your opponent. It's just able to put pressure on early enough, and if they can't deal with it, you know, you can really punish them, and that's the kind of the point. And then with Chaplain Virus, he supports that idea of you not being able to deal with it. Anyway, let's get into another game now. Right, here, kind of same concept. This is still a 3NG to 4NG, so I think I will keep the Eradicator. Remove this. See what we get. Okay, we got a nice 4NG drop there instead.
Forward, brothers. Today we deliver.
We'll draw a card. Punch him in the face. Now, right now in this sort of excuse me, sort of hand, we don't have particularly many pieces of removal, so we're gonna have to just rely on good old-fashioned, I don't know, just our Warlord being able to punch it instead. So he's buffed it all up. It's actually pretty good for us. That was his only option. Here, I think we play Antaro Chronus, because this could lead into several options. We still want to go aggro. I think we're still the beat down in this scenario. However, he has been punching us, so man, it's a bit touch and go on that. But here, you should be able to get options. So if we get like a land speeder, we're then able to draw that land speeder from like his ability. That's what we get from that. Should be able to play a land speeder straight away. Land speeder can flank, attack, gets us card draw as well. It's really nice because we respectively spent none of the cards in our hands. We've ended up with an extra card. The other option is just to play Primaris Impulsor, which should be able to give us an extra attack. We've got a lot of options in our hand anyway, so let's utilize Primaris Impulsor.
There's no hiding from Ultramar's wrath.
Very importantly, utilizing that healing. Now, I suspect he will die. That play did allow us just able to deal with all the grots, where we wouldn't have been able to. Well, I guess we could have used this instead, but we wouldn't be in the same tempo position. So what do you want to do, mate? Okay. So here we want to utilize this guy's Codex ability. Now we could play this, but I think what we want to do is this, and then we can start buffing up the board. Because when you get into like 4 different units getting buffed, you're now looking at value out of his Warlord power. If you're buffing up only one of your units, it's not really worthwhile. So I would recommend doing this when it gets to like this sort of stage. And then you don't have to use, you know, other resources, because now we've got 2 flank troops in our hand still, not just 1. I think that's the right play considering the scenario, or I guess what he had. Here, well, GG. Right, Jane Czar. Now, Jane Czar can be a pain. I won't lie. I think we will keep point blank shot here because removal is important. Land speeder should be important. Actually, we have quite a few high drops anyway. I think we'll start with free energy instead. I don't normally do that, to be honest, but I think in this scenario. And I think against Jane, you don't really want to punch them in the face. I think this is going to be a bit more of a... This is, I see, typically more of a counter matchup, so you do want to ideally not fall into that trap, per se. Here, I think we just play Land Speeder. I don't think I particularly mind if it does damage over here. And then Land Speeder can be a pain to try and remove, so... No, he can't Howling Banshee this turn. He has to play something else to be able to do all this. In theory. Excuse me. So yeah, hopefully this game we're able to show off how good that Tactical Doctrine is. Yeah, that's really quite a nice trade for us there. He's gonna get stone. But he's had to use that now.
Strangle them like the serpent.
He's got 2 stones anyway, so he's got to the 2 stone point. So I'm not particularly bothered. Yeah, I'd imagine you pick up that stone. So I'm going to shoot that. Suppose I could have point blank shot, but really where's my particular tempo? Not particularly much. And I kind of want to force an Eldritch Storm out of him. Even though it's not, you know, I'd rather use it at a board state like this than when I have 4 troops on the board. So you're not Howling Banshee that. Mask that. So you can take it out. Yeah, that makes sense. Now what 2 energy drop do you have? So you went along and stunned me. That makes sense. So we could play this and this, but I think I want to save removal actually. So I think what we want to do is this. We just need, against Jane Czar, it's very difficult to be able to keep a board up because you can't. You're going to get stunned in your Warlord, which prevents you from getting your strike ability off, healing your other friends, and that's why it's a really difficult matchup, actually. So, they struggle to stay alive for that reason. And also, Eldar just really good at removing things with a lot of flank troops as well, innately. So all that combined does become a difficult pain. So you kind of want to just get in the damage wherever you can. That's how I see it anyway.
The shadows are always vigilant.
Okay. if I Tactical Doctrine, I guess I could point blank shot him and then Tactical Doctrine. What's that? You're 5 damage. Okay, that becomes 11. Being 10 life, I mean, like, it would be nice, but it's not really winning me per game, per se, the game. I think we point blank shot that guy anyway. And I guess we just Intercessor Sergeant, buff up as well. You're gonna die anyway. I think we hold back, to be honest. So they end up trading there, which I'm fine with. It's got Dance of Death now. No, that's not good. He's going maximum aggro, okay. Okay, so against most opponents, this would be a great tempo drop. However, if he's got a Crimson Hunter, it's not, is it? So I think here we just want to draw a card. We're really risking him having a Crimson Hunter there. 3 cards? Well, he's already gone through. He's got 3 cards there, and he's already gone through 9. Like, he's got most likely to have 2 Crimson Hunters. I mean, like, the odds of him getting a Crimson Hunter is quite high. I think it's what I don't want to do is play this and then Reiver and then I have no tempo play. What could I do if he did deploy the Crimson Hunter? Could deploy you, I can blind. Yeah, okay. We're alright. Yeah, maybe shooting him was, I don't know, probably wasn't the right decision. So I guess he's trying to stun that guy. Nope, he's going maximum aggro. He might have Winning Doom. Never mind, he's got Crimson Hunter. I mean, like, if he's got Wailing Doom... Okay, I guess I can't die that turn. He's already used a Banshee Mask, we don't have to worry about that. So we'll employ you, do melee attack against you, and we can blind you, shoot you. No, I don't know if that was the best decision or not. I think we play you. Shoot you there. Buff. We'll save you. You might Eldritch Storm here, I don't know. So he's got to do something about this board. Right now there's too much to kill him. Eldritch Storm will definitely be his best bet. Can't imagine he's going for card draw. Yep. Okay. That's going to take out my 3 injury drop. Okay, I can see that. Stunned me. Take out there. Go. What you kind of have to ask is... What, first off, do I have lethal? That's 2. You're 4 innately. With that. So that's 6 damage, plus 3 is 9. No. Is it really 9 damage?
Move faster.
It's 4, 6, yeah. 9. Yeah, it's 9 damage. Okay. So what we do here, point blank shot him, see what you get. Okay, we deploy Reiver.
They'll be dead before they see me.
Punch there. And I think we just deploy everything.
Positions. We strike soon.
Buff.
For the Emperor!
It's got so many stones anyway, like at this point in the game, stopping him having an extra stone, I don't think there's much to it. What he's gonna do, like play the legendary card which deploys a Wraith thingy every single time? I don't think so. Yep. What do you have, Wailing Doom? Done. GG. I had to go off because I wasn't recording. I do apologise. We started the game. We're in the middle of this game. It's getting intense stream. And we did not have a good opening hand. We could like double tactical insight. I wish I could show you. Probably not gonna cut this game, to be honest. I don't like my hand. So you also punched me in the face, and I don't like my hand, so we sort of need to hold back a little bit against, weirdly enough. Kind of suggests he's somehow going aggro.
We are the sons of Gilliman.
Okay.
We are the sons of Gilliman.
The classic double Firstborn charade, let's call it. So you can take out that guy, but what am I going to do about a second one? Yeah, you're just going to have to take him out. And just have to punch it. Yeah, typically with High Factory you want to like able to utilize it. Huh, you can't trigger Codex? You're at least able to do 1 extra damage. Okay then. Here, I think we just play Scout Bike on the Firstborn.
And strike them down.
No, I think I'm the beatdown now. Excuse me. What have you got? Smite? Smite the Firstborn. See what you get. Unlucky. Kills that guy. Makes sense. Here, I think we just do this. High Factory into that. You gotta somehow utilize High Factory. And so I decided to use it there. Because otherwise there's like... If you're not going to utilize High Factory, particularly in aggro matchup, you kind of have to utilize it somehow early on. Otherwise there's virtually no point. So you used it to get some extra stuff there. Okay, alright. So... There's a pineapple under the sea. There. I think we just honor guard and then we hero power. Punch it. Punch it. See what he can do. That's pretty good for us, to be honest. He manages shield here. Now, a certain situation like this, I think what we do here is we play Eradicator. It's easily only a tempo drop. I think we do actually play this. Giving them a buff. We shoot. So we get that healing up. And I think even if I didn't have this guy, it might be worth it just to punch here anyway. Just so we get that healing up. Because he's not on free life. If he was on free life, he could be taken up by a predator or something like that, so.
We bring the fires of retribution. Burn them down.
So he's not dead yet. So he's on 19 life. Okay. So now you have to think. You think. This is +9 damage. Because you've got 3 guys, so you can go +9. So you do this, give this a buff. So he's now on 6, you're on 4, so that's 10 damage. So 10 add 2 is 12, +9, we've got lethal. So we can do this. Bit of fun, we do this. And do this.
The future is not set. Hope.
As you see, GG. And that is the strength of Tactical Doctrine. So yeah, hope you all can see that, you know, this is the Mountain Minus Calgar game. So 1, 2, 3, 4th one defeat, 5th one Tigurus victory over Varo Tigurus. All very good games at the end of the day. GG to all of you. Yeah, I hope you enjoy this deck, because I really have been liking it, and it could keep up in the, you know, it could keep up back when the Dark Angels and Sisters were playing, mostly because they countered, you know, what they struggled at the best, but it doesn't mean that it's not just, it's also just a good deck, so I hope you enjoy it. See you next time.